Hi everyone. In this video, I'll be showing you how to set up the ELK stack, that is Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana using Docker Compose to centralize and analyze logs from a Spring Boot application. So let us get started. The ELK stack consists of three main components, that is Elasticsearch, which stores and indexes logs. Then we have Logstash, which collects, processes, and forwards logs to the Elasticsearch. And lastly, we have Kibana, which provides a web interface to visualize and analyze logs. Using ELK, we can monitor our Spring Boot logs efficiently and also gain some useful insights from them. Now, before diving into the implementation, let us first understand that how Spring Boot logs are pushed to the ELK stack. So our Spring Boot application generate logs using libraries like Logback or Log4j. These logs contain useful details like errors, warning, and application activity. These logs are sent to Logstash. Now we can send logs to Logstash in two different ways. First one is to write logs to a file, and then Logstash will pick that file. Okay. And another way is to send logs directly to Logstash over a network, for example, using TCP or HTTP protocol. After logs are sent to Logstash, Logstash processes and transforms the logs by filtering out unnecessary data or different filters that we apply in the pipeline. Okay. Then it prepares the logs for indexing in Elasticsearch. Logstash sends the processed logs to Elasticsearch, which stores them in a structured format so that we can easily search logs. And finally, we use Kibana to view and analyze the logs in a user-friendly dashboard. Basically, we create dashboards so that we can spot trend, errors, or overall system performance very easily and quickly. Now, before we move to the implementation, there are some prerequisites that we need Docker to be installed in our system and a basic Spring Boot application which can generate logs. Okay. So in my system, Docker is installed. If in your system Docker is not installed, you can simply search for Docker installation, and you can find the website, and you can follow this website to install Docker in your system. It is very simple. Okay. And second prerequisite is a Spring Boot application. So I have already created one Spring Boot application. This is a simple Spring Boot application in which I'm simply getting the details of customers. Okay, so I've created two APIs. First one is to get the details of all customers, and the another one is for getting the detail of customer by ID. Okay, so this is a simple application. Now we are going to set up four main configuration file, that is docker compose.yml. So this file set up Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana services with proper port mapping and volumes for communication and storage. Then we are going to set up Logstash configuration. This file contains the configuration for Logstash, that how Logstash is going to receive the logs and how it is going to forward them to the Elasticsearch. Okay. Then we are going to configure logback spring.xml. This file ensures that how Spring Boot application sends log to Logstash. Okay. And if we want some more configuration for our Spring Boot application, so finally we are going to set up application.properties or application.yml file. Okay. So now let us start with docker compose file. Okay. So I've already created this file. So we are going to quickly go through this file so that we can understand what is written in this file. Okay. So here we are creating three services, that is Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana. Apart from this, we have created one network, that is ELK network, and one volume elastic data. Okay. So why we have created this network? Because these three services are going to interact with each other. That's why we want them in same network. That's why we have created one network for them. Okay. And now as we know that Elasticsearch stores the logs in a proper format. Okay. So for that, for storing logs, it needs some storage. Okay. So that's why we have created one volume for that. So now let us start with the Elasticsearch. So this is our first service. We are mapping one volume so that it can store logs into this. And then we are setting some environment variable. This one is for disabling security because we are using the local development environment. So we have disabled the security, and this one is for JVM. We are setting the heap size, and discovery type is single node. Okay. Then we are simply exposing the ports and setting the networks. Now let's move to Logstash. Again, it is similar to Elasticsearch. We have set up one volume. Basically, this is not a volume. We are mapping one directory which contains the configuration of Logstash. So we are mapping that directory, okay, inside the Docker because we want to use that. And then we are running one command that we want to use the configuration that we are passing inside this image, inside this container. Okay. And this Logstash depends on Elasticsearch service. And again, we are simply exposing the ports, setting some environment variable and the network. Okay. Lastly, we have Kibana. In Kibana also, we are doing almost the same. But one important thing that we have to keep in our mind that we need to properly set this Elasticsearch URL. If we will not configure this properly, then we are going to face problems. Okay. So here I have written HTTP colon double slash Elasticsearch colon 9200. Okay. So here Elasticsearch, why I'm writing this Elasticsearch? Because I have written the service name as Elasticsearch. If you are using some different name for this Elasticsearch service, then change it accordingly. Okay. So this is our Docker Compose file. Next, we are going to see the configuration of Logstash. Okay. So in this file, we have three blocks: input, output, and filter. So here we have using very basic setup. We are not using any filter. We are simply using input and output. So we are taking the logs input on port 5044, okay, using TCP protocol, and then we are forwarding it to Elasticsearch. Okay, here we have mentioned the URL for Elasticsearch and the index that we are going to create. Okay, so this is how we are going to take the input from Spring Boot application and forward it to Elasticsearch. Next file that we are going to configure is logback spring.xml. But before understanding that what is written in this, first let us understand that what is logback appender. Okay, a logback appender is responsible for sending logs to a specific destinations such as files, consoles, or remote system like Logstash. Okay, so we have some common appenders, that is console appender, which is used to send logs to the console, which we generally use in our Spring Boot application, and with the help of that only we see the logs in our console. Okay. Then we have file appender, which save logs to a file, and then we have Logstash TCP socket appender, which we are using in this file. Basically, this send logs to Logstash over a TCP protocol. Okay. Now that we have understanding of Logback appender, we are going to easily understand this file. Okay. So uh, in this, we are using two appenders. First one is for sending logs to Logstash. Okay. And another one is for console. We sending logs to console. Okay. So we are using two appenders, one for Logstash and another one for console. And here we are setting the level of logs. So for both Logstash and console, we have set the level info. Okay, so this is our logback spring.xml file. So we are done with the configurations. We are not going to set any configuration. We are not going to set any configuration in this application.yml file for now. So let us start the ELK stack using Docker Compose. Okay, so this is our project folder, and inside this only I have created this Docker Compose.yml file. Now, in order to run this, let me open the terminal. Okay, and I will write the command Docker Compose hyphen build and -d and up. Okay. Oh, I need to move up over here. Okay. Now let us run docker ps command. So you can see all three containers, that is Logstash, Kibana, Elasticsearch, are running. You can also check in this GUI, which is provided by Docker. So you can see all three services are running. Now let us check in our browser. Now to access Kibana, we are going to write localhost 5601, which is the port number that we have provided to Kibana. Okay, so you can see that it is loading. Now our Kibana dashboard is successfully loaded. Here we can perform different type of tasks, and for this video we are not going to see those, and that is for some another video. For this video we are simply going to see that whether our logs are visible in this dashboard or not. Okay, now let's do one thing. Let's start our Spring Boot application. Okay, so our Spring Boot application is started. Now let's generate some logs. Okay, so first I'm going to call this API. Okay, so here we have received the response from this API. So let me do one thing. Let me copy one ID from this. Okay, which I'm going to use in this. Okay, so let me paste it over here. Okay, so we are getting that customer not found. Okay, let me copy it again. Copy and let me paste it over here. Again hit this endpoint. So this time we are getting the details of customer. Let me again hit the API, but this time with ID that is not present in our database. So let me randomly add some letters. Okay, again we are getting that customer not found. We can, for now we can ignore this error code because I'm not configured that properly, because we are focusing on that how we are sending logs to ELK stack. Okay, so we have generated quite a few amount of logs. Okay, now let's go to our Kibana dashboard and let us check whether we are able to see logs or not. Okay, so as you can see that we are able to see logs over here, and we can see indexes that we have created. So if I go in stack management and then in index management, you can see that index that we have created, that we have defined in Logstash configuration is created over here. Okay, so these are the logs that are generated in last 15 minutes, and using this we can generate different types of dashboards which can be helpful for different purposes. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me create one dashboard. Okay, and let me create one simple dashboard. Okay, so I will be using level keyword field because from this you can differentiate that what all different types of logs are generated. From different types, I mean whether the info level log is generated, warning level, or error level. Okay, so let me add this over here. So we have total of 45 info logs generated in last 15 minutes, 4 warning and 2 error records. And if we add timestamp to this, then you can see that at what time these types of logs were generated. Okay, so this is a very simple dashboard, not a very useful dashboard, but we can utilize all of the tools that are available in this Elasticsearch to create very meaningful dashboards which can help in taking very crucial decisions also. Okay, so we have successfully set up the ELK stack, and we are able to see logs that are generated in our Spring Boot application in this dashboard. Okay, and all this setup we have done using the Docker Compose. So if you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more such content. And link to this project is in description. You can download it from there, or basically it is a Git project, Git repository. So you can simply clone that repository and use it for your own purpose. Okay. So thanks for watching and see you in the next video.